Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to the Medlink Students webinar. Thank you all so much for joining us this evening. We really look forward to giving you a little bit more information all about studying medicine and dentistry in Europe. Now, this is going to be including quite a few different aspects from how life is like studying abroad, hearing some insights from our students, going over some of the pros and the cons, but also going over some of the information included in the procedures of actually studying medicine and dentistry, how to get into the schools, the various different procedures that are included. So I'm going to hand over now to my colleague Osman, who's just going to start the webinar off with a short poll where you'll be able to answer questions that are on the screen. Osman?
Hello, everyone. We're excited that you've all joined us. There's hundreds of students today. Wow. We've prepared a fun poll for you just to warm you up for today's webinar. We're really excited to see what kind of students we have on the webinar today. Are you a dentist or are you a medic then? Okay, almost everyone has voted. Feel free to just, we have a couple of these questions coming up during the webinar, so feel free to just press the button on your screen. Okay, so we'll show you the results shortly. We have 85% of you are doctors and 15% of you are dentists. Okay, great. So now we have a feeling of what kind of people we're speaking with. Great job for joining in the poll. I'll let Tom take over from here then.
Fantastic. Thank you, Osman. Yeah, just a little bit of interaction there. We're going to be doing a few of these polls throughout the webinar. Some discussing concerns and looking at different benefits, just so we can try and focus the webinar around you and find, what bits of information will be best suited for you all. So without further ado, here you can see the list of our speakers for this evening's webinar. So a few of my colleagues here, student advisors such as Osman, Edmund and Dana. We've also got an admissions representative here, Victoria. She's going to be running through a few of the different procedures and what it looks like and what the process looks like to apply to study abroad. And more importantly, we've got a long list here of guest speakers who are currently studying at various different universities. So throughout the webinar, as I mentioned before, we're going to be going over a few different topics. Now, one thing that we always get asked when we're on the phone as advisors is, what are the real benefits to studying abroad? You know that the opportunities out there, you know what you can do, but what are the actual benefits? What are the actual things that studying abroad will give you back as an individual? So I'm going to hand over to Dana now for her just to go through a few of these benefits.
Good evening, everyone. It's always exciting to see so many students attending. So we're going to discuss today the advantages of studying abroad. There are many advantages of going to Europe. We can talk for hours and hours about these advantages, and these students will be telling you about these advantages in a bit, about the universities and the countries they're studying in and sharing their experience. But I'm going to point out most of the main advantages that students love about coming to Europe. First advantage is the affordable tuition fees and the affordable living expenses. And the courses are obviously fully taught in English. You'll be examined in English language. The professors speak English. And you can apply to unlimited number of universities. You can have unlimited numbers of applications, as opposed, for example, to the UK. You can apply to 4 universities. Well, in Europe, you can apply to as many universities as you want. And you will get to experience the variety and the diversity of having students from all over the world. Meeting students from different countries, it's always quite exciting to meet people from different countries, learn about their cultures, learn how to understand people more and how each person is different from the other, because you're going to be a doctor one day and you're going to deal with patients from all over the world. In addition to the high quality of education, the universities there teach at a very high standard of education, and you'll get the chance to experience a great hands-on experience at the hospitals, plus the flexible admission requirements, which is great. Many times we have students who come to us, they have A-levels or they have high school, and they don't have 3 sciences. They have 2 sciences. So whatever you have in your high school, in your A-levels, we can always advise you to find an option for you using your previous high school years. If you've had, for example, scientific subjects in your previous years, not in your last year of high school, we can still manage to find an option for you. And a great point too, I'd like to mention is the modern facilities they have. They have very modern facilities and technologies. You can go and have great experience with hands-on, as we mentioned, and rotations in hospitals, and you'll be enjoying your experience with the university. So we are very excited to have you guys join us in Europe. We can't wait to have you share your experience with us. Back to you, Tom.
Fantastic, Dana. Thank you very much for that. I really look forward to hearing some of the students, what they have to say in their individual benefits. We hear so many on a daily basis here at Medlink, and it's always nice to hear new opportunities that students have been given. I'd like to pass on to Osman now, just to give a brief overview of our company, why we started, and exactly what it is that we're obviously doing for you nowadays. Thank you, Osman.
All right, brilliant, Tom. Yes, so we're excited to speak to you today and introduce ourselves and tell you how we can help you. The majority of you already know us because you know we are very well known for people who want to study medicine and dentistry abroad. So I'll give you a quick overview. Medlink Students was an organization that was established and founded by doctors who studied abroad with one simple goal: to help prospective medical and dental students like you fulfill their dream of becoming doctors and dentists. Our organization was inspired by students for the students, students like yourself. Our founders were students like you at one point. They experienced firsthand the complications and the challenges of studying abroad, of getting accepted abroad and settling in, and even the on-ground help that they required when moving to a new country. We decided to set up this support group as a group of doctors or dentists. I myself studied dentistry, to help people like you embark on this exciting journey, and to, even if you're considering studying medicine or considering going abroad, to just have some insight into what the opportunities abroad hold for you. Every year, thousands of students come to us. They ask us for support, for help. They ask us to help them choose the most suitable university for them. We're really excited that so many students like you today are on the webinar to listen to us and people that we can help. So due to the demand, we decided to set up this webinar to give you information and give you a quick oversight, a taster session, you can call it, from our team of doctors, dentists, medical students who currently study abroad. They can tell you about their experience, what they're going through, what it's like, so you can get some good insight. And today we can proudly say that we've gone from operating only in the UK to helping students from across the globe, from every single country. We've had students from every corner of the planet contact us and come to us and get the right help and support that they require to pursue what they love, becoming doctors or dentists. So back to you, Tom.
Thank you very much for that, Osman. And one thing that we get asked quite often when we're saying that there are so many students that are now coming to us and applying, we can see the numbers in these webinars continue to grow every single time. A lot of people are wondering, why is that increase? Why are so many people looking to go and study abroad now? And one of the reasons is obviously due to the state of the medical education. So Osman, would you be happy just to go through the current state of medical education in the UK as an example for us?
Yeah, of course. And that's just one country, by the way. That doesn't mean that we're focused on the UK. It's just one country that we chose to give as an example for everyone, because I know we have people from across the planet who are here with us today. To introduce you to this, to the current medical education state, usually applying at home has become a huge obstacle, as you all know, and that's mainly why you would consider going to alternative options and finding different routes. Where tens of thousands compete ruthlessly against each other, where you see the ruthless competition to get into medical school and where the universities have resorted to just dismissing applicants left, right, and center just because they don't have enough seats. So people have become very overwhelmed with the idea of applying, with wanting to pursue medicine or dentistry simply because of the competition of how hard it is just to get accepted. I remember when I was applying in the UK, I was finding it extremely crushing how the system was so difficult to allow people the opportunity. Even though I met every single grade requirement, it was just so competitive. I remember going to interviews where I was interviewing alongside other applicants who were interviewing for the third, fourth, or fifth time. I was 18, 19 years old, and people were in their 30s applying to study medicine. You know, like, as someone who's very young, you see it's extremely competitive. People are applying over and over and over again. Every year there's more applicants, and it's just becoming extremely difficult to get accepted, especially as someone who's just come out of high school, having to resort to going to different routes and different courses just as a means to an end. I had to study biomedical science. I wasn't passionate about biomedical science. I was passionate about dentistry. And I was just doing it for 3 years as a means to an end. And unfortunately, that's what the system forces people and pressures them to do because they can't get accepted into what they want to pursue. And you have here, you can see, as the statistics have been showing, I hope you've been reading them as I talk, where thousands of students are competing for the limited seats, where only 9,500 seats in the UK are available. And the number of students who are applying for the first time, you can see, are a very big proportion compared to the available places. And simply as well, something to bear in mind is some students ask us, why is it that there are so many few seats when the health system, and after COVID, especially, as you know, which brought to light the shortage of doctors, why hospitals and countries across the world, whether they are first world countries, second world, third world, whatever, everyone needs doctors. Why is it that they can't provide enough seats for people like you who are passionate, who are so enthusiastic about pursuing what you love? Unfortunately, the opportunities are limited because the funding by the government, for example, in the UK, it costs over £200,000 to train a doctor. And that's money that's invested by the government in hopes that they will be able to train one doctor. And that's for every single doctor. So the shortage of funding is something that is an obstacle, as you can see. So that's why they struggle to increase the seats. So you'd be doing a favor for your country by pursuing medicine abroad, and then coming back, obviously a recognized university where you can practice at home. And that's where we come in. We will advise you and help you on this. Where you can come back home and practice and give back to the community. So as you can see here, the UK needs 50,000 new doctors. This is the goal, this is the target of the hospitals in the UK. And in the next 1 to 10 years, 25,000 specialists will be retiring. So as you can see, the shortage is even getting worse. In 2020, only recently, the statistics we had, 10,000 international graduates who graduated abroad. And that's not even graduates from the EU. These are graduates who graduated from outside the EU, because it says EEA, which is European Economic Area. And this is basically the EU plus 1 or 2 countries. More graduates are coming from abroad every single year, simply because the hospitals, the governments, they all need to import and bring doctors into the country to cope with the demands of the healthcare systems in the UK, in the USA, in Australia, everywhere. And I'm sure you know, in your country it's the same. All right, let's move on then. So the registered doctors by country of primary qualification, as you can see here, for example, in the UK again, this statistics from 2019 and 2020, and is talking about how many registered doctors there are by country. And we can see that each year the number of non-UK graduates every year is increasing. most of the countries are importing doctors from abroad, where they try to attract doctors from all over the world. As you can see, there's a huge demand for doctors. So pursuing medicine at a recognized university, where this is where we'll be able to help you, is something that you will be able to utilize and use to give back to your community and your country. All right, Tom?
Thank you, Osman. Those are some quite scary numbers when you look at them, and quite interesting as well. The fact that we need 50,000 new doctors to join the UK just for us to get up to the European average, of how many doctors should be in the general population. Now, considering we only graduate 8,000 doctors a year in the UK, that just shows how desperate they are. And I think the point to take away from that is that it's not difficult to get back as a doctor in the UK and many other Western countries. The problem is within getting into these medical schools, because the spaces are very limited. But when it comes to actually graduating and coming back, like Osman rightly said, you're doing your country a favor. They need you to come back as a qualified doctor. And that's the great thing about European education. It really helps to give you all of the skills and the knowledge that you need to actually come back and register and meet all of the requirements for your country and your medical council, so you can work safely as a doctor. Now, to give us a little bit more of an insight into medical and dental education in Europe now, I'm going to hand it over to Edmund, who's going to say a few words and give us some information on that.
Thank you so much, Tom. Hey, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. There's never been a better time to go abroad and study. And as Osman and Tom have brilliantly put, it's becoming increasingly competitive to really go abroad and to stay in your home country to study. I speak to students from all sorts of countries, from the US to Australia, and it's still as competitive there as it is in the UK. And over the last decade, European universities have seen thousands of international students apply to their institutions. And as Dan brilliantly explained earlier, studying abroad has so many benefits, some of which are the types of degrees that you earn after you graduate. So when it comes to medicine, you do 6 years, and that's how long you do it for. And the first 3 years are your preclinicals, where you'll learn the fundamental principles of medicine. The final 3 years are your clinical years. So that's the most exciting part also. So you get to learn about the different specialties out there, from surgery to pediatric medicine to internal medicine. And the best part is you graduate as a doctor of medicine. So for example, what this means is that you'll return to the UK and you'll qualify to work as a foundation year 2 doctor. And a master's, an MD degree, which is a doctor of medicine, is seen as a master's equivalence degree. In the UK, you graduate as an MBBS doctor, which means you'll study for 5 years, and then you do your foundation year 1 and 2. But the MDs allow you to come and you go straight into the foundation year 2. Now for dentistry, some of the courses are 5 and some are 6. Studying for 5 years means that you do the first 2 years as your preclinical years, and then the final 3 are your practical. And then for the 6-year ones, first 3 years are your preclinical, and then the final years are your rotational years, where you do your clinical placements. So each of them has its benefits. The 6-year option allows you to have an internship as part of the degree. So when you come back to the UK, you can start working as a general dentist, or you can start going into specialty training. And then the 5-year option allows you to work as a junior dentist for 1 year, doing your foundation, for example, after graduating. And either of them have its benefits. And with dentistry abroad, you either graduate as a doctor of dental surgeon, or you graduate as a doctor of dental medicine. These are very good degrees that are recognized worldwide. So we can't wait to welcome you into Europe. And over to you, Tom.
Thank you, Edmund, for going over all of that for us. And obviously, these are the basic medical and dental education in Europe. Could you tell us a little bit more about the graduate entry medicine and dentistry options? Because I know they differ slightly from what we're used to in the UK and other countries' graduate systems.
Yes, of course. I'll be happy to. So graduate entry medicine or dentistry is really a great way of starting or kickstarting your dental or medical journey. So in the UK and other parts of the world, the graduate entry programs are more compressed courses. So usually they're 4 years where you do 2 years of preclinical and then you do 2 years of your practical. Now, the way the graduate entry programs work in Europe are slightly more nuanced than the UK or the other countries. Some schools work on what they call the recognition of subjects or modules, if you like. So what the school would do is they assess your bachelor's degree with science-related subjects, obviously, and then allow you to enter the course from a higher year of the 6-year program. So you could find yourself transferring into the 3rd year of the course based on what you've done before. For dentistry, it's the same. So you could end up doing 4 years or sometimes even less than that. And all of these comply with the European credit transfer system. And to qualify for this, we simply assess your bachelor's degree with our partner universities, and then we let you know the opportunities that are most available to you. And most importantly, these courses are recognized globally. So all the hard work we've actually done, we've done the hard work by researching these schools to ensure that they're recognized wherever you want to go to. So you don't have to. And so that is how the graduate entry program works. We're still excited to welcome you abroad this year. Back to you, Tom.
Hey, Edmund, thank you very much for that, giving us a good explanation into the graduate route. I know it can be a little bit confusing because it's quite new for some people that are used to, as we said, the condensed courses. So I'd like to bring a student on now who's done a graduate entry course themselves. They're currently doing the graduate course. And I'd like to get a few words from them in how they found it personally. Raja, are you with us right now?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Raja, how are you doing?
I'm good. Hi, guys. Yeah.
Fantastic. So if you could just tell us a little bit about your experience and how you found going into a graduate program and actually entering into a later year of the course.
Yeah, so it was quite seamless, just like how Edmund described a couple of minutes ago. So they took my transcript from Exeter University, where I did a neuroscience BSc, and they compared my modules to the course's syllabus here in Georgia. And they matched up, they let me know that I could join 3rd year, first semester, for them as well. And then they spoke about doing some things like intensive course, which is like doing it at double the rate to make sure I can catch up and keep up with all the other students in my year as well, because neuroscience was more of a research degree than clinical. Obviously, medicine is quite clinical. So to make sure that all the clinical stuff was caught up so then I wouldn't be falling behind all the current 3rd years that were with me, and also that it wasn't overbearing or too much, like too intense. It was quite easy, quite seamless, and quite a lot of fun studying. Like I didn't feel overwhelmed. I didn't feel like I was lacking behind in the area. So it's quite seamless, to be honest with you, starting 3rd year. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you for your input there. And what you just mentioned sounded quite interesting. So they helped you as an individual due to the modules that you hadn't completed that other bachelors had. Is that right?
Yeah, more other bachelors, but also like other 3rd year students who have completed by this point. Like one of the things here is called like clinical skills, where they actually cover what like a doctor would do, like simple things like blood pressure, heart rate, suturing, and those type of skills will be learned like first and second year. What they did was to make sure that I would be caught up. Is that they made an intensive course, so you separate classes where you get double the contact hours that you would normally get with other people as well, with other transfer students as well with you, and then you cover the information actually at a quicker rate, was actually more like digestible because they're making sure at each point you know what you're doing, and that ships you're all caught up. You're not missing any information.
Fantastic. Oh, it's really good to hear that universities are, specializing on helping students like yourself in those situations. And I think that's something that's very much needed in these graduate entry courses. And something you mentioned there as well is obviously with transfer students. So my colleague Dana is actually going to give us a little bit of detail regarding transfers. Now, this is something that we've seen a big increase of this year, especially due to a lot of unfortunate students that have had to study in Ukraine. So we've spent a lot of time, a lot of hours, you know, finding opportunities and ways that we can do transfers. They can be quite complicated, but we do have very experienced teams that are helping all of the students currently in doing this. Dana, can you tell us a little bit about how this works, please?
So yeah, another great service offered by Medlink is transfers. This is for students who want to change universities halfway through the course or halfway through the program. Now, the majority here are considering first year for October, but however, we do have students who approach us and tell us that they went to a university that's not in a suitable environment for them. They're not comfortable there. They would like to change universities. So in case you're one of these students, this is your opportunity now to use our expert doctors' experience in transfers to help you choose the right university to allow you continue your studies without any interruptions. So transfers are possible. It's based on case-by-case assessment. Our expert doctors will be looking at your transcripts from your previous degree and checking which universities would be best for you to transfer. But yes, it is a service that we help with, and we help you transfer if you're looking for any change.
Thank you, Dana. That was fantastic. And Dana, while I've got you here, another question that we get asked quite a lot is, how much money do I need to study abroad? How much is it going to cost me to live? And how much is it going to cost me in order to actually pay for my education? Are you all right to go over a few of the details there?
Sure. Another common question that we get, as you mentioned, is budgeting. Students want to know, how much is it going to cost to go and study abroad? How much are the tuition fees? How much are the living expenses? Now, a lot of students are attracted to Europe due to the high quality and high standard of education they get and the affordable tuition fees. The fees of the universities that we work with range between £4,000 up to £25,000 a year. And many students ask us, does this mean that the university that has higher tuition fees has higher quality of education? Well, the answer here is that tuition fees are not correlated to the quality of education. It's more related to the location or the geographical location of the university, where it's located in the country, and the economical situation of the country, of course. So as you can see on the screen, we have examples of some countries with their tuition fees and living expenses. The prices you see here are tuition fees per year and living expenses per month. So whatever budget you have or your parents have, we can always manage to find a great university for you to join to achieve your dream, study medicine, and without having any financial burden on you or your parents. You can just focus on your studies and have a very high standard of education at one of the top universities.
Fantastic, Dana. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, I think one of the things to take away from that really is the cost does not equate to the quality. It really is a case of just finding what works for you. You know, we've put in the hard work, finding these universities that are suitable for you based on meeting requirements, based on student support, facilities, quality of education. You're always going to get that with these schools. And that's really the best point of being able to study in Europe, is there are just so many different opportunities available to you. Now, we've got a few of the top choices listed here from our students that applied last year. Now, again, the key word is opportunity. The other one is variety. Now, although all of these schools maintain a very high quality, they've all got fantastic facilities and student support in place, and they're all meeting the requirements to go and work in many countries around the world, including the UK, the USA, around Europe as well. Now, the variety part comes into more of the location. So are you going to want to go somewhere that's quite close to home? For example, I know that Poland is a very short flight for our UK students, and that persuades a lot of people to go and study in Poland. Somewhere like Georgia is obviously a bit further afield. However, for some students that are seeking a bit more of an adventure, that can be the perfect place to go. Now, you're also looking at financially the variation too. So again, somewhere like Georgia can only be around £4,000 a year. Whereas you look at somewhere like Hungary, and this can go up to £15,000, £16,000 a year. Now, even though the prices are different, as we mentioned, the quality remains the same. Now, it also depends on you as a person. Perhaps you quite like somewhere that's a bit smaller, a bit quieter. Take the Medical University of Bialystok on this list here. So that's in a much smaller city. The whole campus is very quiet and peaceful. Whereas if you wanted somewhere where there was a lot more going on, then you could obviously look at somewhere like Sofia Medical University in Bulgaria. you know, it's in a capital city, or perhaps Titu Maiorescu in Bucharest, the Romanian capital city. So there really is so much variety there, and that's what we tend to do with students. Sometimes I'll be on the phone to a student and they'll almost pause for a second on the phone because I'll ask them the strangest questions. They'll be thinking, what does my living preferences have anything to do with studying abroad? You know, most people that approach me, they just want to get into medical school. You know, that's the issue. But the joy of it is all of these options are suitable for many, many students. The qualifications that you have will allow you to get into many of these schools. These schools are designed for students like yourself who are going to be coming to study abroad, and they have the spaces available. And all you've got to do is take that first step, approach it with an open mind and be committed to learning and working hard. And these opportunities are there for you. And you really can just pick and choose and find the best possible option for you. So going on from that, let's talk a little bit now about what the process looks like. How does it look like to study abroad? Whether, you know, where the differences are compared to the UK, for example, because when you're studying abroad, you're going in as an international student. So it's a little bit more complicated than what you would do if you were just applying within your own country. Now, in order to do this, I'm not going to speak about it myself because we've got an expert admissions agent here, Victoria. So Victoria, I'd like you to share a few words with us on exactly what the procedure looks like.
Hello, everyone. So as Tom said, most students are wondering where to go and what to choose, but there's a lot of different schools you can go to depending on also what you have as background. So the most important things that you have to have are a high school diploma or the equivalent in your country. And then the next thing that schools look for are satisfactory grades in basic sciences. These are chemistry, biology, physics, sometimes maths. Some universities would require you to have an English proficiency certificate. This is because they want to know that you'll be getting the most out of your education. Then some of these universities would also want you to sit an entrance test or an interview. These are sometimes multiple choice questions or open questions. Sometimes they're combined. However, there are universities that have no entrance tests, so you can speak to one of our advisors, and they can advise you further on which one suits you best. For a graduate student, you would need to have a university transcript, and sometimes there's exams, sometimes there's no exams. Again, it depends on the university. Both I and the rest of the admissions team will do all the paperwork for you and will ease your admission into the university. We'll translate your documents, get your guaranteed acceptance letter, and provide you with all the revision materials and help you need to ace all your entrance tests and interviews if necessary. Our goal is to always help you. So that's why we can assist you with visa processing and application if needed, and sometimes payment of tuition fees to the university because you would need to do that, and we'll guide you through the process as well. Now, we're here to help you throughout every step of the process to make sure that you get the admission into a medical university abroad. So don't worry about the requirements. Speak to one of our advisors and they will guide you and help you choose the best university that's for you. Back to you, Tom.
Fantastic, Victoria. Thank you very much for that. Giving us a little bit of an insight. And I think, yeah, the thing to take away from that as well is don't worry too much about the complications. We do help you as much as we can. We're now on to our second poll question. If you have a little look here, start ticking the answers on what are your top concerns about studying abroad. Now, we understand for a lot of you, you're still living with family, you know, you've never lived away before. Even going to a different UK university can sometimes be a bit daunting. You know, we've all been there. So we empathize with you that going to study abroad can be quite scary at times. So have a little look through here and see what you think, because we'd really like to find out, you know, as I said in the beginning of the video, what is really concerning you at the moment? You know, what's worrying you? What's holding you back from pursuing your dream and taking this opportunity? You know, we want to help you and try and work that out. So I think we might have some answers have we got coming up here. Okay, that's interesting. So we've got the top one there is degree recognition. That's a really interesting one. We are going to be covering some of that later on in the webinar. So I'm really glad that that is a top concern for people. So we can go over that in a bit more detail. We've also got the language barrier, being far from family and friends. That's very understandable. And the safety aspect too. Fantastic. Well, there's plenty for us to discuss. We've made a note of those and we're going to be going through those throughout the webinar. So we want to go on now and get the students involved. We've got lots of eager students waiting here in the background that really want to share their stories and talk to you. And we'll bring up a few of those pointers as well with the students to see what their reactions are, see what their answers are. So we're going to start by talking about Georgia as a country. This is where we've had some of our most applications for this year. It's been going absolutely mad with people applying. And this is the most popular university that we've been working with there. So it's the European University in Tbilisi. We've got a few students that I think are waiting in the background somewhere to discuss this university. I will wait until I have one of them to introduce. So in general terms, this university is based in the capital city of Georgia, Tbilisi, which is a lovely city. Statistically, it's got one of the lowest crime rates for any capital city in the world, which means it attracts a lot of international students. There's a lot of diversity and lots of culture to explore as well. You know, bearing in mind this university and this country is based almost in between Europe and Asia. You've got people from all different walks of life that are there studying for their medical degrees. So it's a really nice environment, and I love hearing the students' responses about this university. It's like Raja was saying before about how he gets so much support and help and extra lessons, all crammed in to help him meet all of the hours that he needs. So I'm going to move on to, I think it's Raja that we've got available now. Raja, can you tell us a few words with regards to the safety in Georgia and how you feel about it? Because that was one of the top concerns that we had there from students.
In terms of the safety, I can't lie. I don't really have. There's not really a big concern of that at all. Actually, a lot of my friends, we all go out. Obviously, we go out on the weekend. We come back late. We're out in the town. Thank God. Fortunately, as well, we have had no incidents. I haven't heard of anyone at the uni itself like have a instance such as, like, you know, what people may think when going abroad, like, you know, being robbed or getting lost or things like that. Like, it's pretty safe. Like, the amount of help you can see from everywhere. People make jokes about Tbilisi that you can literally leave your car unlocked in the city because no one will take it. It's actually, like, compared to what people are thinking and what I was thinking myself back in September, it's much safer, and it's actually, like, it's more confident. Like, I'm able to go out, come back 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning in the city centre without any problems or any worries.
Fantastic. And how concerned did you feel about the safety before you went to Tbilisi?
I mean, to be honest with you, I think there's obviously the fact that's probably going through everyone's head right now is the fact that you're moving to a whole different country, new country, you know, and you don't really know the setting. So everyone feels comfortable at home. It's your comfort zone. So obviously I was feeling that little bit of nervousness about that situation. But when I came here, like, it took a couple of months to set your bearings, to figure out where stuff is, you know, to figure out how to, like, contact certain people if you need anything. And after that point, it was fine. There was no nervousness. There's no worry about safety. And it's like, now we can, like, it's like me when I first went to Exeter, for example, back in the UK. I had the first couple of months so I was a bit uneasy. I didn't know where anything was, but now I know everything. Same here. Laos is the same thing for me. It's like my uni town. I know where to go for good food, go for good shopping, go for a good time. It's really comfortable now.
So it was Exeter that you studied at before for your bachelor's degree?
Yeah, I did. I went to Exeter 3 years. I went back in 2018 and I graduated in 2021.
Lovely place. The thing I want to ask is, did the difference between going from your parents and your family to Exeter feel similar to when you went to Tbilisi? Was Tbilisi a lot worse, or was it quite similar?
No, it wasn't quite worse. It's quite similar. Obviously, the big difference is that here is a bit of, like, obviously the language barrier, and also, like, it's a different culture here. It's not the it's not the same as just moving in within England, but it still had that same effect. And for me, I was way more comfortable because I went to university before I knew, like, living away from home and things. But I did have some, like, very similarities. Obviously, you're away from your family, you're living by yourself. But yeah, it wasn't like a big difference. To be honest with you, it wasn't huge. The only thing was that now I'm a 4.5, maybe 5 hours flight away, and then before I was a 4-hour drive away.
Yeah, slight difference.
Yeah, that's a slight difference.
At least it's a nicer view when you're in the plane.
Exactly.
So we've got another student now to speak. This one's for dentistry. So for the 15% of you from the start of the poll, we've got our student Gugulethu now, who's going to tell you a little bit about dentistry at the European University. Gugulethu, are you here?
Hi, everyone. I hope you guys can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you fine.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, I'm a second semester student at the European University, and I'm doing dentistry, as Tom has mentioned. So far, it's been going really, really well. I have been, first semester, it was mostly online. So that was a little bit different because I didn't really get to interact with my peers, and like, it was a bit difficult to form relationships with people and stuff, but we're back on campus now, so it's a lot better. We get to interact with other people, different students, and there's a lot of students who come from different areas at the uni, so you're not alone in that sense. You do feel like, oh, okay, there's people that relate to the situation that I'm in. But yeah, no, the course is great. The learning style, it's pretty good. I feel like it's quite similar to the UK in the sense that the lecturers are quite supportive. You get your lecturers from your lecturer like once a week, and then PowerPoint presentations are there, and then you have seminars as well. So that's a chance to have one-on-one sessions with the lecturer, and like they clear up any questions or queries that you might have about the lectures that they've given. And also there's chances to gain points towards your final grade during the seminars as well. So that's always a good opportunity to get some extra points as well on a weekly basis. Yeah, so I was quite concerned as well coming here. It feels like it was not that long ago. I honestly can't believe that I'm now doing my midterm exams for the second semester. So it's like time's really flown, but I was really concerned about the culture shock, the culture differences before I came. And to be honest, I did feel like there was a little bit of a shock there when I came here. A lot of people don't necessarily speak English here, especially the older generation. But there's ways around it. I use Google Translate, was my best friend. But I sort of really enjoyed that challenge. I sort of embraced the culture. It's quite different from the UK, but I think if you're just coming here with a, open mind, it's a great experience. I think it's beautiful to learn new cultures and taste some different food. The food is amazing here. Yes, it's been a really enjoyable experience so far.
Thank you, Gugulethu. That's such a lovely insight from you. I know we've had you on the webinar a few times now, and I still remember when we were speaking on the phone before you went, and you were so concerned. You didn't want to leave the family and the friends, and you didn't want to go to this unknown country, and now you're always there with a smile on your face, and that's what makes it all worth it for us as advisors. Just seeing that, what we can help you to achieve. Now, one of the things that we've been asked quite a lot is in regards to diversity in Georgia. Could you give us your input on that?
Yeah, I would say it's definitely not as diverse as the UK at all. But I think especially now that I'm on campus, I'm starting to see a bit more diversity in the students. There's a lot of new students coming in, I think, now. And I think just as long as you're like open-minded, the diversity is not really like a huge issue or anything like that. And a lot of people are very curious, especially with Black people being Black. I tend to find that many people are very curious, and it's just it's a conversation starter. It's a great way to form relationships as well, especially being away from families and whatnot. So it works to your favor in a way. That way.
Fantastic. Thank you for that, Gugulethu. It's a pleasure listening to you, as I said, every time. It's so great to hear the experience that you're having. I think we've got a student for medicine who's going to talk now. Michelle, are you with us?
Yeah, hello.
Hi, Michelle. How are you doing?
I'm fine, and you?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, what year you're in currently, and what your experience has been like?
Okay, so I'm in my 5th semester, that's the 3rd year. And this is the first semester offline for me because I started online last year, my 4th semester. Well, it's been good, honestly. I can't lie. It's been good. The things I found difficult, I understand they are normal, and I'm working my way through them. My manager is absolutely great. She's there for me anytime I need her. Just have to send her an email. She replies when I need anything. So it's been okay. Students have been nice. Teachers are extra nice. Most of my teachers are extra nice. And the school is just cool. Everybody's smiling at you, and I mean, you can't complain. It's cool.
Fantastic. And so did you go in as a first-year student or through the graduate entry route?
Yeah, I went through the graduate entry group, yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And how did you find it adapting from your previous degree into medicine? Was it tough for you?
No, I've understood the concept from my previous degree. It wasn't easy, and medicine is not easy, no matter how intelligent you are or where you're coming from. So it's just a matter of you adjusting yourself and then finding time to do what you have to do at the right time. Yeah, that's it.
And if you had to pick one thing that you're enjoying the most at the moment from the university, what would it be?
Right now, the lectures. I like this semester they've introduced something they call oral surveys. It's something that most students don't like because when you get to class, you're going to be asked questions based on the previous or the lectures that were uploaded for you to watch. And I feel like it's good. It helps you to actually learn what you're supposed to learn. You're not going to be spoon-fed when you get to class. You're going to speak about what you know, and nobody's going to put you down for what you don't know. So you're free to make a mistake. You're free to say, I don't know, or I wasn't prepared. And your teacher is not going to be bad or be mean to you about anything. There'll be explanations when you need them. It's nice.
That's a really important point that you've highlighted there as well, because a lot of schools that we mostly don't work with, they are quite harsh on their education. Now, there is a big difference, I think, between having a harsh education and a hard education. Because as you rightly pointed out there, Michelle, medical school is hard. If someone tells you that there's an easy medical university, we would say do not go to it because it won't give you what you need to become a doctor. But that's why it's so important to have that support in place and go to a university that are going to help you. And that is honestly one of the top points that we look for when we're encouraging universities, when we're working with students, trying to find the best option. We're looking for places where they're going to be supported. Now, we've got another student to speak now. We've got quite a lot of you from this school this evening that want to speak, so that's fantastic. We really encourage gaining your insight. Esther, I think, is up next. Esther, can you tell us a little bit about your experience at the university?
Okay, really, I don't know where to start from. Should I start from the diversity? Okay, I've got friends from different geographical locations, and I mean, they've been nice. Kindness, it's a virtue that I can't deny the fact that it's in people here. They've been so kind, especially the Georgians. And in terms of lectures too and academic diversity, there's something like I was opportune to do here. It's about the relationship with European university to other universities. And there's something that is called Erasmus grant. I think it was an opportunity for me to actually undertake TOEFL examination because I just wanted to write the exam. I've never written it in my life. I was like, okay, this is an opportunity for me to experience this examination and to see if I would actually scale through. I mean, they are also diverse in terms of relating with other universities. And yes, I wrote the exam, and out of 25, I in some sections, the speaking, the writing, I scored my full marks, and in the writing section, I think it was about 20 out of 25, and the exam was cool. I mean, it actually gave me an avenue to explore other sections, other academic extracurricular activities. And yes, European University has been nice. For a start, I would say as a year one medical student or dental student, you would also have the opportunity to undergo some clinical courses, more like hands-on practicals. Yes, practicals. And it's called the clinical and professional skills. So you would do that for about throughout your preclinical studies from your year one to your year three. And currently, I'm in my 5th semester, and it's been nice. My 5th semester is actually my 1st semester offline. And guess what? This place is safe as I can't even overemphasize, to the point that I have some courses that the timetable, it was, I mean, I was surprised at first, but later on I was like, oh, fine, the place is so safe. I had some classes that were fixed from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. at night, and it would be in the school. It's an offline course. So you could see how safe the place is. So, I mean, I really don't know what to talk about European University because, I mean, it's a great topic on its own. The lecturers, they are okay, they are nice. I mean, they know what they are doing. My manager, she's student-friendly. In fact, the school as a whole, they are all student-friendly in the sense that if you're coming as a transfer student or as a medical student, they would ask you, in Georgia now or not, so they could know the courses they would fix for you if they are mostly online or offline. I mean, they are considering in all of their affairs, and it's a nice thing actually. It's been okay. It's been nice.
Fantastic. Thank you for that insight, Esther. I want to ask you a question. So one of the top concerns, and as I said, we are going to be covering it quite a lot towards the end of the webinar, but it's in regards to the recognition going back. Now you're looking to go back to the UK, is that right, to register as a doctor?
Yes. Yeah, that's
what gave you the confidence to go and study in Georgia, knowing that you could go back and register in the UK?
Yes, I've actually had some friends from other universities. They are actually transfer students, and when they actually came here, one thing they told me is European University is so organized that your credits, the number of times you would have class that are being recognized by the GMC. I mean, they fulfill all those criteria in the sense that your practicals, your classes, and every other requirement that the GMC would require for you to actually pass through or have for you to successfully register with them. They met all those requirements. And one thing I love about European universities, they are highly organized in terms of courses, their timetables, their lecture patterns. They are really organized. And this is one thing I loved and I'll keep loving about European University. So yes, I mean, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And there's one other thing you mentioned, I think a couple of you have mentioned now from the European University about managers. Can you tell us the role of the managers there?
Yeah, managers are more like your academic advisors. Just like in the UK, while I was there, yes, I had my own academic advisor, and they are intermediary between the students and the school management. So if there's anything you want, if you can't reach the school management as quick as possible, you can get to your academic manager. So they would help you fix whatever it is that you're actually seeking for and get you sorted out before it's too late or before any other thing happens. So that's their role. They're there for the students. If you would need an advice, they're there for you. If you actually need someone to talk to, they're there for you. Academic-wise, they're there for you. I mean, they're just all around just to make sure that you're okay, you're comfortable, you don't have any issues, and everything is cool for you.
Fantastic. It sounds like they're taking my job off of me, Esther. So you have advisors from Medlink that are supporting you, and then you've also got your own personal university advisor. That's fantastic.
It's good that you've got that. For us. Yeah.
Perfect. So thank you very much, Esther, and thank you everyone over at the European University in Georgia. We'll let you get back on with your studies now. We know it's a very important time for you. We're going to move on now to another country. This is going to be covered by my colleague Dana. She's going to be talking to you a little bit about Serbia. Dana, are you there?
Yep. So another great and exciting option that we're working with is Niš University in Serbia. Niš is one of the best universities in Serbia, where many international students study there at the moment. And what makes this university very popular is the great team of doctors that teach students, who are very supportive, very helpful. And the university has a very well-established English program. Now, the tuition fees are quite affordable too. It's 5,500 euros per year. And to make this even better, I'm gonna introduce for you Anika to share her experience. Anika?
Hi, Dana. Thank you.
Hi, Anika. So can you tell us more about your experience at Niš University?
Yes, sure. Maybe I can mention something about safety. Serbia is, in my opinion, as a woman, very safe. I never felt any difficulties. Most cases, international students, when they go outside, they always go as a group, so you never feel alone as a woman. And there are really affordable taxis and buses, and they're driving like 24 hours, so you never need to worry. So safety is really not a matter. When it comes to language, the university offers some language courses if you want to adapt to that foreign language. A lot of students are concerned, or even I was very concerned because the international program is in English. And I was all the time thinking, like, if my English is enough. I wrote even a Cambridge certificate and everything. But I must say that I needed like 1 or 2 months really to adapt to that language and even the medical terminology in English. So it was, of course, a bit unusual at the beginning, but it's possible. And now I cannot think not to study in English or to study medicine in German language is kind of impossible now for me because of the university, your topic and the foreign students, English becomes your daily language. So that's it, what I wanted to say. And yeah, it was a bit difficult as well for me to be away from my family and friends at the very beginning. Because, you know, they are always a part of your life, and suddenly they are no more present. So you get in touch with a lot of foreign students, which become your second family, let's say. And sometimes I think you have to give up something to become something better. And this is just for a term of 6 years. For some, it is a long journey. For some, it is even a short journey when it makes really fun and you really feel that you are at the right place. Thank you, Dana. Maybe you have some further questions for me.
Thank you, Anika. So can you tell us a little bit more about the courses, like the lectures and your relationship with the professors?
Yes, the lectures were held most cases online in the first year. But now everything is in the classes, which is really nice. The professors are very young. Most cases, those are professors who graduated from that university. And they're really excited to see us foreign students. And it's a really, how to say, warm get together in the classes. And it's a very nice atmosphere, I must say. I would not like to miss it, to be honest. And wherever we need help, there is always someone who listens to us. And we have also Viber groups. when we want to contact the professors. So we also get within 24 hours a response from the professors. So all in all, you really feel not only safe, but also welcome in the university as a student. So I never regretted to be there, and I'm really happy to be part of that university, to be honest.
All right, thank you very much, Anika, for this explanation. So I'll let Tom take it from here.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, Anika. It's really nice to hear. You know, there's a variety of schools. As we said before, variety is one of the key words, variety and opportunity. So you really have got a huge variety. But as you can hear, all of these schools, now we're past most of the COVID pandemic, back to in-person lessons, you know, and getting the best quality of education that they possibly can. So it looks like we've got another question for you. So what we want to say this time is, what excites you most about studying medicine or dentistry abroad? Obviously, we know why you're going to do it, because you're a passionate student, you're committed, you want to make a difference in the world, you've been inspired by other doctors or dentists that have maybe helped you through a struggle or helped a family member. You know, we hear some incredible stories from our students as advisors. I'm sure the other advisors would agree. When we're speaking with students, some amazing motivational stories as to why students want to go and study abroad. But there are obviously other factors involved, as we said about the advantages beforehand. There are so many things to look forward to. We want to see from you. So if you've put down an answer there, let us know what you think and what little extras that you are looking forward to about the idea of studying abroad. Right, I'm thinking we should have some answers in now. So we'll see if that's going to come up. Here we go. Okay, so yeah, there we go. Gaining a degree that allows me to work in my home country and abroad, 78%. And I'm glad that that is something that most people are excited about, because that's what we're all here to do. But we've got to remember there are other benefits. And the thing is, the more you embrace these other benefits, the more you enjoy them and commit to those, the better the experience you're going to have abroad. The better experience you have abroad, the more successful you're going to become as a doctor. You know, going into your studies with a smile on your face, even at very stressful times when you have a lot of hard work to do, it's going to help if you're really embracing the area and you're really making the most out of it and enjoying it. So next up, Dana, I believe it's back to you to discuss Romania, introduce a few of our Romanian students to talk about their insight and how they found it studying abroad.
Another attractive option to study in is Romania. Romania is a very dynamic country, rich in history, arts, and scenic beauty. It's a lovely country and also very safe to live in and very affordable. There's many universities in Romania offering medicine in English. And actually, Romania has been offering medicine in English for more than 10 years now. And their tuition fees are very reasonable. They range between 5,000 up to 9,500 euros a year, depending on the university. And they offer medicine, dentistry, and veterinary. They also have entrance exams. Some have entrance exams, some don't, depends on the university. And as we can see on the screen, one of our popular options actually is Titu Maiorescu. It's located in the capital in Bucharest. Titu has a 6-year MD program for medicine, and they also have a dentistry program for medicine. And the university attracts a lot of students from international countries, from different countries in the world. And they have tuition fees that are 7,500 euros, as you can see on the screen, or 8,000 euros for EU students, and 9,500 euros for non-EU students. The university has a basic entrance test for sciences to test your knowledge in biology and chemistry. It's also a very friendly exam that, as my colleague Victoria mentioned from admissions, we will be helping you to prepare for these tests. They're very friendly, and the living expenses are quite affordable. As we can see on the screen here, it's 700 euros per month. Another great option that we have is Craiova. Craiova is a very nice and quiet city. It's not in the capital. There's a city called Craiova. It's like 3 hours away from the capital, Bucharest. Craiova also has a medicine and a dentistry program for English language, and their tuition fees are 6,000 euros per year. They have a basic entrance exam also for scientific, to test your scientific knowledge. And the living expenses are also very similar, around 650 euros per month. And I would like to introduce one of our students who study in Craiova, Ali. Ali, can you tell us a little bit more about your experience in Craiova?
Hello, Dana. How are you?
Hi, Ali.
So starting from the beginning of my experience here, as we all know, studying medicine is not something easy. It's or dentistry. A lot of time and effort go into studying these two disciplines, and choosing the right university is very crucial here. And I'm very, very grateful that I've chose the University of Medicine and Pharmacy in Craiova, simply because the quality of education is amazing compared with the tuition fee. The doctors and the professors are very well knowledgeable, very well educated, and they are very welcoming for foreign students. They offer you questions, give you exercises. If you have any questions, they will give you all piece of information you need to know. They also prepare you in advance of what you're going to be facing in the clinics, in the hospitals. They give you full experience to work with your hands in the labs, doing some tests, running some tests as well, microscopes. So if you are looking for a good university, I will probably advise you to look into this university, as its quality of education is, for me, it's wonderful.
Lovely, fantastic. So you're studying medicine at the moment in Craiova, yeah?
Yes.
Which year are you in, Ali?
I'm currently in second year.
Fantastic. And do you mind telling us a little bit more about the city lifestyle in Craiova? How are you finding the city?
Well, the city is very student friendly. Even though you don't know the language, you'll still find some people that are welcoming. It's a very safe city, I can say. There's nothing much more to say. You can simply go out after midnight. You still find accommodations to get back to your home, or so find some people in the streets. So it's not a deserted, let's say, since it's far away from the capital. There's nothing much more to add.
All right, thank you very much, Ali, for sharing your experience. I'll let Tom take it again.
Thank you very much, Dana. Yeah, Romania is quite a popular one, I know. There are quite a lot of good English talk programs in Romania. They've been doing it for a long time now, which brings us on to our other country here, Bulgaria. Because again, Bulgaria is one of those ones. It's almost a household name now for medical and dental education. It's been going on for so many years now, and I'd like to invite my colleague Osman, who studied in Bulgaria himself, to talk a little bit about the universities and invite a few current students on to share their experiences as well. Thank you, Osman.
Brilliant. What a great, diverse number of students we've had so far from all sorts of corners of the world. Really nice to see that you've all experienced what it's like coming abroad, and I hope that gives our audience some insight as well. Feel free to ask your questions in the Q&A, and our students will try their best to answer them as well. So you can get further insight just in case we missed anything, because there's so much to cover in so little time. As you can see, it's an amazing opportunity abroad. I can vouch for it because I'm someone who did it myself. But I will let our students speak about the opportunity for themselves. Bulgaria is another country as well in the EU that offers medicine, dentistry, or veterinary science as well. Veterinary science, yes. So there are about 4 to 5 universities. Varna University, which is located on the beach. Sofia University, which is in the capital city. Another University of Sofia, which is also in the capital. There is Trakia as well, which is a very popular one recently. Trakia University, and Plovdiv and Pleven. So you can check these out on our website. All sorts of options are available. The tuition fees usually range from 7,000 to 8,000 euros. Again, you can see specifically each university on our website. And living costs are quite affordable, 300 to 400 euros. You can live comfortably as well per month. Usually to get into the universities, you need to do a biology and chemistry exam, which we will support you with and give you all the right information in order to ace this exam and have an advantage over other applicants by giving you content, study materials, things that were prepared by students for students like you, people who sat the exams. This is applicable for every country. All right, so I'll ask my colleague Khan, who is a student from Bulgaria, to tell you a little bit more about his experience of studying dentistry in Bulgaria.
Hello, Osman. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I'm Khan, I'm from Germany, and I'm a fifth-year dental student in the Medical University of Varna in Bulgaria. And till now, I really enjoyed my stay in Varna. And the thing I like most about Varna is that it's really close to the beach. So we have a beach here, and the city is really small compared to different European cities. So you don't need any public transport or any car to get along really good here. And also, the people here are really nice. They treat you really nice and friendly. And the good thing about Varna also is that you never get bored here. So you have a lot of stuff to do. Although you have to study a lot for the university, I would say you still have a lot of time to hang out with your friends and do social activities. And about safety in Varna, I would say I feel really safe in Varna, actually. I would even say it's safer than some cities in Germany. And I think Varna is a really safe city because I never experienced anything bad till now, and I've never heard anyone experience anything bad also. Of course, every city has their dark sides and bad areas, but I think Varna is these areas are really rare here, so safety is not a big issue here. And about the diversity, you have a lot of international students here, actually. So German students, Indians, English, Syrians, Turkish, Greek. So many international students here. So it's really diverse, I would say. So yeah, you get to know many different cultures as well with this diversity. And about the living cost, I would say the living cost in Varna or generally in Bulgaria is really, really cheap compared to Germany. For example, I pay approximately 300 euros a month for a 3-roomed apartment, which is really cheap compared to German cities, for example.
Okay, brilliant, Khan. Thank you for that. Are you able to tell us a little bit about quality of education, which is another concern that usually students have as they voted?
Yeah. I can say that for dental students, the dental faculty here is really, really good because the building got built, I think, 5 years ago. So it's really modern and the equipment is really new. The seminar rooms are really modern and new. And so it's a really modernized university, I would say, for dental students, especially.
Okay, brilliant, Khan. And how have you found it settling into the country?
At first, when you come here, I would say you feel a bit lonely because you don't have any friends. But Medlink always helped me with settling in Varna. And they always helped me with fixing documents, showing me around the city, showing me around the university. So every time when I had any problems, I messaged them over WhatsApp and they would instantly help me with anything. So yeah, I think I would say the number one problem is that you feel a bit lonely in the beginning because you don't have any friends, you don't know anyone. But over time, you get to know many people, and yeah, I think that's not a big problem.
Yeah, a lot of students worry usually that they're going to a new country where they don't know anyone. They've never set foot in this country, but this is where Medlink students come in. Our team will support and help you with settling in, with meeting other students through Medlink and the other people that are in the same exact boat as you are, in the same exact shoes that you've been through. So coming in, settling in, meeting other people like you, other passionate medics, passionate dentists. And the amazing thing is that you meet these people from all over the planet. It's not just people from your country, but people from everywhere. I've made friends from Korea, from Brazil. I would never have imagined to have made such friends, such diverse people if I hadn't gone abroad. And it does take a lot of courage, but there's a huge reward. And in the big picture, it does pay off. So thank you, Khan, for sharing that. Let's move on to another one of our students, which is who is Florian from Vienna.
Hello, Osman. So yes, my name is Florian. I'm a fifth-year medical student at Varna, like Khan, but I'm in the medicine course, not the dental course. And yeah, basically, I decided to go to Varna because it's located near the beach and I heard good things about it. Of course, the first concern I had was about the recognition. I think that's for most people the most important thing you have when you have the first thought about going abroad. And of course, when you have contact with Medlink, they helped me also by contacting the medical council in Austria and getting confirmation about the university that they are accredited in my country. And after that, of course, next thing is once you get accepted, you go abroad and you go to Varna. As it was already mentioned, you get set up with the people who are going to start with you, so with other first-year students. So you have some connections, as well as I got to meet some higher years, which is very nice because they can sometimes give you tips and materials how to get started. Because especially in the first year, you're new to everything, and medicine is already hard enough on its own. But then being abroad and being on your own, some people are on their own for the first time away from the families. So you take all the help you can get, basically. And it's about the studying. Another thing I want to mention is the quality of education is very good. You can see that the university tries to do a lot for the students and keep improving every year. And I think you see it. So now that I'm a fifth year and I'm going into my last year, I've done a lot of internships in Austria, Germany, different hospitals, and I have a lot of colleagues that already got offers from hospitals for them to start there after the 6th year. So I think this speaks for the Medical University of Varna that they're already trying to get hands on you even before graduating and trying to tell you, yeah, come to us afterwards. So I think that shows that they're doing great things here in Varna.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you, Flo. What about the quality of the education and the teachers and the support that you receive usually?
Yes, I mean, we're working in small groups here in Bulgaria. And this makes you really close with your teachers. So it's often that we have their phone numbers. So we can, sometimes if the scheduling is not working out perfectly, you can reschedule very easily. Sometimes if we have the need for extra classes, this is no problem since most of the teachers are very, very happy to help you when you show like that you're eager to learn. So it's much more of a eye-to-eye level, I would say, and it's small groups, not more than 10 people, so it's not crowded at all. And you have like you get the feeling that when you have concerns, they're heard, like, and really they try to manage everything very fast.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you, Flo. one more student we have for Bulgaria as well from Sofia University is Sushma. Sushma, would you be able to tell us more about you and why you decided to come to Europe?
Yeah, sure. So as Osman's already said, my name is Sushma. I'm 20, so I actually went to university back in the UK. So I went to Plymouth University and I was pursuing a degree there. And I went to second year and I was like, okay, I want to do medicine. What can I do? And I remember sitting down, doing a bit of Google search and coming across Medlink. So I inquired with them and they gave me a call back. And I believe I actually spoke to someone on this call today and it was Tom. And I spoke to him and my top concern was I've already spent, time at university. How's it going to be? I've never heard of Eastern Europe. What's it going to be like? And he put me at so much ease. I'll never forget it. And he was like, we can help you. Don't worry. We'll sort everything out for you. All you have to do. So for my university, you have to do an entrance exam. So he was like, as long as you clear the entrance exam, you'll be fine. And so I sent over all my documents, did all of that, moved the process along. So then obviously there's an apprehension of moving to another country because I've never done that. So I think it was really nice because I was picked up from the airport. I had someone come pick me up and sort stuff out. And then get an apartment. And then obviously the next step is starting university. So going back into first year. And we were put into small groups. So I have a few people from Medlink themselves who are in my group, who are also from the UK. So we've kind of studied first year together, obviously. And we spend time in seminars together quite often. So they're like my tutor group, or if you guys are in sixth form, then my form group, basically. We have semester exams. We have in January and then obviously in July as well, June and July. So, and we also have regular colloquiums. They're kind of like end of unit tests, that kind of thing that you keep up, see how your progress is. And actually I had a lot of apprehension about the language, how my professors are going to be. Would they speak English? Even if people did say, oh, they speak very good English, it was almost like, but do they speak professional English? And actually they speak very well, like very good English. And they're always like on top of our work, making sure we do our work. And they go above and beyond to help you. And I think that's something that I have not necessarily experienced in the UK, that kind of one-to-one contact. And, and I think I really enjoy it. It's a really good experience and I would really recommend it to anyone studying abroad, especially Europe. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity for sure.
Brilliant. Yes, very good insight, Sushma. Thank you for explaining that. If anyone has questions for our students, just throw them in the Q&A and we'll try to answer them. So Sushma, you speak about your journey and your thought process. What was it that, because a lot of students are very nervous or are worried about something that's so unknown to them. Like most students who are here on this webinar probably have never heard of Bulgaria or Romania or Poland or Serbia or Georgia. They don't know much about it. Maybe you've read one or two news articles. What was it that, gave you that final push to go and give it a go?
Honestly, so for me, there was a few things. I would say that one was definitely, I think even though I had a conversation with Tom, I think my parents also wanted to have a conversation because like me, they also hadn't heard of Eastern Europe. And he really put them at ease. He was like, look, because for my parents, they had a different perspective. It was more like safety, how's it going to be settling in? You're going to be living alone, that kind of thing. And actually, and for me, it was more like the culture, the degree, 6 years long. And he actually said, if you come back to the UK, you can register as an F2 because you come back with a master's, which also put my mind at ease. The other thing was the safety aspect. And I actually was a bit apprehensive about it, even when he did say, it's really safe. Like Sophia's very, very safe. And I can actually stand by that. I've been in this country for about 6-7 months now, 8 months. And I feel safer here than I have felt at times back in the UK. So I know that I'm very glad I took that step. And my final push was the fact that I had this many people, like the team that was working for me from Medlink, I had that many people working for me and trying to get my best interests to fruition. And that was my final push. Just that, you know, these people believed in me, so why not me, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, wow. That's really nice to hear, Sushma. I'm glad that you feel supported and helped by our team. That's what we try to do always. So I want to, you seem to be really good at answering these questions. So I'm going to ask you one more. If you were to go back to when you first heard of studying abroad, like many students are now on the webinar, this is their first time or second time hearing about studying abroad. What would you say to yourself?
About studying abroad?
Yes, because probably you were nervous, you were scared, you didn't know much about it. What would you say to yourself to, you know, give yourself some insight?
Honestly, if I was talking about tips for myself, one would be, why did I do 2 years of a degree that I decided to kind of leave halfway and come to do this, because I could have done this earlier. But the initial apprehension was studying abroad. And I think I would say that don't feel like you're going to be alone, because you quickly build up a network of people here that you can rely on, and kind of a unit that works together and relies on and helps each other out. And that's what I would tell myself. It is daunting, but it's not as daunting as your mind kind of plays to make you believe. It's actually, because you've got this team sorting this out for you, the headache of like the legal process, the translation of documents, all of this is kind of sorted out. The only thing that you focus on is the entrance exam. That also you get a lot of help for. I got a lot of material like to practice from and revise from Medlink. And then after that, the next kind of thing is like looking for apartments and all that kind of thing. Also, they sent me some links over for apartments, all of that. So actually, it's not so daunting when you've got other people helping you. So I tell myself, take that opportunity and reach out, because they're always contactable. I always WhatsApp to my advisors. So I definitely recommend doing it earlier if you can, you know, that kind of thing.
Wow, that's really good insight, Sushma. That's brilliant. Thank you for sharing that. You say also that you studied as well. For me, it was the same as well. I studied 3 years of biomedical science in the University of Huddersfield. I always ask myself, why on earth didn't I just build up the courage and come abroad earlier? So it's good that you find, it's better late than never, always. But I hope the students listening will learn from both of us and both our mistakes and go for it, because if you want to become a medic, there is no point studying something that has nothing to do with medicine. Same for dentistry as well.
The cost of living is cheap as well. I think you will know if you're a student in the UK, and when you come here to Bulgaria anyway, the cost of living is so cheap. And I completely recommend, like, I think that was a culture shock for me, because I'm used to being kind of like the run-of-the-mill Lidl, Tesco Express, Aldi student, and to come here and to know that, you know, I can spend so much money but still save a heck of a lot of money. It's a huge thing for any student, and to come out with less debt as well is a huge thing for a lot of people.
Yeah, that's really good as well. Another point, something that a lot of students really enjoy, because you get a chance to live a brilliant, kind of like a luxury life that you would dream of in the UK, USA, Canada, Ireland, wherever you come from. Like having a 50-inch TV, you know, in your living room, buying the best food, eating out, and it's so affordable. It's not cheap, but it is affordable, and it's great. Obviously, we're probably the parents now are biting their nails who are listening to us. So don't worry. We don't advocate for such a lifestyle, but it's very easy to have such a lifestyle when it's very affordable. and hopefully students will be also enjoying that. So Sushma, actually one more question, if you don't mind me asking. What you speak about Medlink and your advisor, probably you did ask around and you went and looked at your options, talked to some agents and agencies. Why is it that you decided finally to go with Medlink instead of another organization, for example?
Because they were more organized. I think I had, so I obviously searched around, but one was, I could understand your website. It was so much easier and it seemed more realistic. It seemed more pragmatic. And I think it was also because you were very responsive. See, I'm trusting you guys with my documents, with, you know, my transcripts, all of that. And you guys were very tech savvy, like having a WhatsApp group, talking to me. I know that Tom called me on WhatsApp as well. So, you know, and it was that communication that felt very, very organized. And I was like, it's not as chaotic, and that's one less stress to myself. And that's why I think I decided, you know what, let's go with Medlink. Actually, also the fees and everything, the processing fees, all of that, it was so much better compared to other competitors in this particular field, you know, and you cover the legal fees and all that for me anyway. So at the time I applied. So that's why I chose Medlink.
Okay, thank you, Sushma. That's great insight. Okay, so let's move on then to next country instead of university. Back to you, Tom, then.
Hey, thank you, Osman. Sushma, it was great to hear from you there. Again, I remember, I hope you don't mind me saying, when we were speaking last year and you had all these concerns and worries, it's just amazing to see how far you've come now. You know, and we've supported you, and now, of course, you're supporting us by talking on here. So it's fantastic to see. Right, so next place on the agenda is Poland. I know we've had a fair bit of interest in Poland this year. As I mentioned before, it's quite close to a lot of Western Europe and the UK, so it can be quite a nice option to look into. I believe it's my colleague Edmund who's going to be talking a little bit about Poland and introducing some of the students, having a conversation with them now. Edmund, over to you.
Thank you, Tom. So Poland has become one of the top destinations to really pursue dentistry or medicine. So medicine in Poland is generally 6 years, or you can also have some schools that have the graduate entry program where you can reduce down to, you know, up to 4.5 or 5 or even 4 years. You also graduate there as an MD, Doctor of Medicine. And dentistry over there is 5 years. So you graduate there as a Doctor of Dental Surgery. All the degrees there are recognized worldwide, from the US to Australia to Canada to most countries. And there are over 23 great medical schools and dental schools across the country there. And each school teaches medicine or dentistry in English, and they've produced fantastic doctors or dentists over the years. And all these schools have modern infrastructure. So they keep up to date with all the medical and dental studies to ensure that all the students receive an excellent quality of education. The tuition fees in Poland tend to range from around 11,000 euros to about 15,000 euros per annum. And one school that we've had a lot of students study or apply to is Medical University of Silesia. This is a school that we've worked with for quite a while. And we have students from all over the world there, from the UK to Canada to Australia. We have students from Africa as well that study there. Silesia is in a city called Katowice, so it's in the south. Very big city. Usually students that are very vibrant, outgoing would go there because it has about 2 million people living there. Fantastic medical school, and the degree is recognized in the UK and worldwide. They teach medicine, they teach pharmacy, they teach dentistry. And one student that is studying there, who entered as a graduate entry, I spoke with a student when he started this journey, used to study in the UK. And he actually was one of the top students for the entrance test. Very proud of the student and his journey so far. And I'd like to invite him to talk about his experience there. Trudy, are you there?
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. You?
Yeah, very well. Thank you. Thank you for joining us and spending your Friday evening with us. Could you tell, the guys here about your journey and kind of how you ended up in Silesia?
Okay, so I did my degree in biomedical science, the degree everyone does when they really actually want to do medicine. And I graduated from that, and then I went and did another diploma. And then I actually made a mistake because I went to a university in Europe, and I told you about this when we first spoke. And this university wasn't fantastic, wasn't great, and I made a big mistake. What I should have done was actually find an agency, which is what I did the second time round, and ended up speaking to Edmund. And he spoke to me, and we spoke about the university I was at. And he told me, "Oh, you should have come to us because we could have guaranteed this." And obviously, lesson learned. And I went with Medlinks, and now I'm at this really good, amazing university. And I'm just kicking myself, wishing I can go back in time and just give my old self Edmund's number and just give him a quick call. But that's how I ended up in Medlinks with and in Silesia.
Fantastic. And how has the school been? How's the program been for you since you've been there so far?
So the course is really good. What I can say is that it's really safe. It's a really safe area, Silesia. And the best thing about it is everything is so close by. Literally, you wake up, the dorm, you have 2 dorm buildings, and then it's literally like a 2-3 minute walk straight to your classes, and the whole building is there. And then there's also 2 hospitals literally next to your dormitories. And then unlike Schumer, we actually do have Lidl and Aldi and Tesco and all that. So also Aldi is literally 15-minute walk. And also you can also do delivery services. They do delivery services for students, and it's really cheap. So everything is so accessible, and it's really nice. There's a medical shop down the road. I'm literally visualizing everything and just letting you know there's a medical shop down the road. There's also a corner shop, which is open almost 24/7. So if you ever run out of anything, you can just run down there. It's really convenient. And the course itself, medicine, the lecturers are really nice, really supportive. And anything you need, there's always people you can talk to. And also Medlinks is also really supportive as well on that front.
Oh, thank you. That's great. Now, Trudy, as you know, a lot of the students that we speak to are quite from ethnic minority backgrounds. So we have a lot of brown, we have a lot of black students. One of the biggest, as you see, obstacles for students going abroad is knowing whether the country should be diverse. How has that been for you being in Poland?
There is some diversity, and there are places actually in my city. For example, if you eat Asian food and you eat African food, or I was actually surprised when I arrived there that I could actually go and buy, whenever I felt like I could go and buy actual African food. And it was like, okay, wow, I didn't know that this would even be here. And same thing with Asian food. It's really diverse. I go out quite a lot. I see we have a mix of people. We have people from Israel, we have people from the UK, we have people from Ireland, we have people from Nigeria, Ghana, other countries in Africa, other countries in Asia. We have a huge group. Even just my year alone, I think we have something like 12 countries just in my group. You know, not talking about the whole university, just my group. It's like 12 countries there. So it's really diverse, and you won't feel out of place at all. You know, if you were to come over, you will always find people that are from, you know, your walks of life.
Thank you. A question that has been asked in the Q&A also is, which school did you go to before? And so that they can, you know, a lot of students can know whether to can avoid it in the future.
Where to avoid?
Yes.
Am I allowed to say
it? It's to understand your experience and how it was, and you know, what prompted you to then make a change.
Okay, so the school I went to, I'm not going to say the name, but I'll say where it is. And if you just do a quick Google search, you should be able to find it. So it's university was in Prague, Czech Republic, in the capital, and it has the largest hospital. So if you just Google that, you should be able to find it. But why it was bad was because it's not that the university was terrible. You know, of course, you know, it was a good university, very good reputation, but the university they make their money from students failing. So they kind of really stack the decks against you, like from the beginning. And, you know, they were not strict. They were like actually quite cruel. They were bordering on the cruel. And that really wasn't nice, because you don't want to feel, when you go to a new place, you don't want to feel like you're working against the system and against the people in the university. You want to feel like they're working with you, because that's probably what you're used to. I mean, in the UK, in the US, or your home country, you're used to like having that kind of your family to support you, your school to support you, probably a guidance counselor. So you kind of want that when you go to a new place. And I found that they were really, really working against you, because they wanted you to repeat. Like, so if you failed two specific courses, you would have to repeat the year. And if you repeat the year, you need to pay the tuition fees again. So that's not nice. You know, that's just not the way you want to, you know, be looking at it. You want an even ground, don't you? When you're studying, medicine's hard enough. It doesn't need to be any harder, you know? So that's one of the reasons, you know, I left there, because every year it just got worse. So I thought to myself, okay, I've made it, you know, to the second year, but it's only going to get worse from here. So let me see if I can find somewhere that also took my degree and my past, because I was accepted as a graduate in Silesia, but I wasn't in the school in Prague. So that also was a big help as well.
You know, I've heard this story, and each time I hear it, I still feel, you know, for you at the time, because this is one of the reasons that we speak with students, is to really understand, you know, where they're coming from and which environment will be suitable. Because you can go to the best medical schools in the world, and as you probably know yourself, the school that you went to is advertised as one of the best schools in Europe. But it looked as though the environment wasn't right for you. And so This is the reason why we speak with you on the phone and really understand you and help you find the right place that would suit you and your needs, and then you can enjoy the time that you're there.
Yeah, I was on the phone with Edmund during the process. Like, I really feel bad for Edmund, because, you know, I would call him at crazy o'clock and he would pick up, and, you know, and I would ask Edmund, don't you sleep? And he's like, oh no, it's fine. Ask me the question. What do you need? And, like, you know, and I wasn't used to that. So, like, that was really great. That was really good. That was really supportive. And you won't feel like there isn't someone there for you, you know, during this process, if you were to, you know, go ahead, I have to say.
Thank you. We do sleep, only for a few hours. Our role is to help you, and is to make sure that, because you're going to an unknown territory and you want us to guide you through it. One question for you though, what advice would you give the students? And we get this quite a lot, where students might say, I want to take a gap year and try again. What advice would you give those students
I did take a gap year, and yeah, so yeah, I did take a gap year, and in fact, I ended up taking 2 gap years. So I wouldn't advise it. I wouldn't advise it, you know, strictly from my experience, because when you have a passion for something, and I was passionate to study medicine, I just wanted a level playing field, and I just wanted to study medicine. You know, it's always best to just go ahead. You know, I know you might have reservations. You know, you might feel a certain way, but how I looked at it, like being away from family, being away from friends, and going to another country is, you know, you kind of need that. Like, I'm the type of person that when I'm there, I'm like, okay, I'm in study mode. I'm in future doctor mode. And I need to focus on what I need to do. And I need to, you know, make sure I get this degree. And so it almost helps being away, you know, like if you're able to just focus and just switch it on. So I just switch on. And, you know, I would say that it's better for you to come and just, you know, give it a chance. And you'll be pleasantly surprised. You'll be so surprised that actually it's not that bad. Like, it's not bad at all. It's like, oh, all these reservations I had were all in my head. And you'll feel like I almost feel like I'm in the UK when I'm there, to be honest, you know, because the city's big, so much to do. It's just, you know, new people, but I feel like I'm home because of the service I receive, the friends I've made there, you know, and, you know, the support I got from Medlinks as well, you know, when I landed there. So I would say seriously reconsider if you're thinking about a gap year, especially if it's not for the right reasons. Like, seriously reconsider, and just, you know, if it's because of reservations, then you really just dive in, just give it a go, and you'll be pleasantly surprised, definitely.
Thank you so much, Judy. And we're really excited for your journey. We can't wait for you to finish and graduate and then go out and do better things in life. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, I want to be an oncologist, so hopefully you'll never see me, you know.
We hope to see your journey. We can't wait for that. Thank you so much.
No worries. Take care.
Thank you. Another school that we also help with in Poland is the Medical University of Bialystok. This is in the city called Bialystok, slightly smaller city, but a fantastic medical school. They teach medicine in English, which is 6 years. You also graduate as a doctor of medicine, which means you can practice worldwide. This is a master's equivalent degree. Now, we help you with this application process to the school. Applications are open now. The university is accepting students this year for the October intake. Now, we help you with the process by helping you with the entrance test and the interview. This is quite simple. The university wants to understand who you are, whether you're going to be a serious student, and they ask you some questions within science, biology, chemistry. We give you all the materials that you need. The tuition fee, as you see, is 11,500, and we help you settle in, whether you want to stay in the dorm or whether you want to stay off campus, and we look after you throughout. As you saw Chudi say earlier, we're basically on the ground with you the moment you get there, all the way through to finishing the degree and coming back to the UK or wherever you decide to go to. This university, fantastic school for medicine. They've actually won some awards based on the student satisfaction, the resources that they provide. And we're very proud to say all the students are there, very happy. And we can't wait to see you guys, you know, apply to Bialystok for this year's intake. That's it from me. Over to you, Tom.
Thank you, Edmund. That's fantastic. And thank you to all of our students for talking about their experiences. We've heard some highs and some lows and some concerns, some ways that they overcame these concerns and got past it. Overall, very positive. It seems like you're all working very hard and you're going to achieve fantastic things. So it's great to hear from our perspective. Now, on to the next topic. It's not all about the sunshine. There are some things to watch out for when you're going to study abroad. As we heard from one of our students there are sometimes issues and obstacles when you look to study abroad, especially if you're trying to apply by yourself. You might not have that insight. You might not have people over there already. Or perhaps you go through a company that may not have your best intentions at heart. Now, I'm going to pass over to Osman now to talk a little bit about the GMC's maybe accepted list and some of the universities that are included on that list and why they're on there. Thank you, Osman.
Yeah, brilliant insight so far, guys. And I hope you guys are, from the audience, parents, students, are benefiting from this. The intention of doing this webinar and providing 2 hours worth of value, worth of information, insight into studying abroad is all in the spirit of what we specialize in. We specialize in providing opportunities. We want to help people pursue what we were able to pursue, to see the opportunities, the chances you have, the routes, the paths. There's an abundance of universities out there. You just have to be careful. And I'm not trying to scare you, but we have an obligation to also give you the positive and the negative as well. So we'll make sure that you are making an informed decision on what's best for you. So here I want to discuss with you and warn you about the GMC list of universities that may be accepted. And a lot of students are not aware of why this list exists or what exists there. And we will post the link shortly. I'll post it in the chat, unless one of the guys can post it for me as well in the chat while I'm talking to you, where you can access and see this information. Now, the General Medical Council, which is the UK regulatory body for doctors and graduate doctors who want to get a license in the UK, assess the medical qualifications for those wanting to work in the UK. So we always make sure to advise students on choosing safer options abroad, because as you all posted when we asked you earlier, you all wanted to get a recognized university. That was the highest voted answer. Of course, who wants to get a diploma and not be able to go back home? As much as this is important for you, it is also important for us that we provide you with opportunities where you can go back home and practice as a doctor, make your family proud, make your community proud, make your parents proud, make yourself proud, feeling achieved that you did something amazing, something so adventurous and something so tough, because medicine and dentistry are not easy. So it's really important that you make it worthwhile by choosing the right university for you. And like our students are saying to you, we specialize and help you with making the right choice for you. That's why you should always approach us, ask us, inquire with us. It's all free to just speak to us. We want to put the information out there. We want to give you what we have. And it's up to you if you like it or if you want to research it further and look into it further. So it's important when we advise students that we make sure that you're fully informed, and so should you as well. Never take anyone's word. Always take everyone's sentences, facts, information that they're giving you. Take it with a pinch of salt and go do the research for yourself. Now, I say this because I'm confident in every single sentence that we say to you, in every single fact, because we're honest, we're transparent, we want what's best for you. It's important that you're well informed. So beware of agencies or universities who promote themselves as listed on this list because they are accredited or recognized. This is not what this list is for. This may be accepted list, which I'll post in the chat shortly. This list is to warn students of universities that do not or may not meet the criteria of acceptance by the GMC. So there are two lists by the General Medical Council, who is the GMC. One is the do not accept list. So universities they don't accept, full on don't accept, and universities they may accept. Now they put universities that may be accepted on this list, and I'll explain it a little bit more, to warn students that the degree may not meet the criteria of acceptance that the GMC has. Even if the university has any UK teaching campus or any marketing that looks so great, oh, UK doctors teach in it, This does not mean the qualification is associated with the GMC in any way. It's not accredited by the GMC. And one example of, there's many universities on this list that you should be aware of. One example is New Vision University, which a lot of students come to us and ask us about. They are, even in the webinar, we had a couple of questions about it. You can check in the Q&A that I answered. Now, we found that some agencies are making claims like Georgian universities being accredited by the GMC. Well, the GMC does not accredit foreign institutions, first of all. Any agency making such claims should not be taken seriously by you, and you should be aware of such people because they're clearly spreading false information, and or maybe they're too ignorant about what the GMC requires or why they have such a list. This list does not indicate in any way that university is accredited by the GMC. The GMC only accredits universities in the country which is in its control, which is UK. So meaning universities in Oxford, Cambridge, London. These are the ones the GMC regulate or they do inspections on and so on. They can't accredit a university in abroad in Georgia or in Antarctica. They have no control over that, so they cannot accredit it. The GMC, what their role is to assess the qualification only when you graduate. So once you graduate, they will assess the qualification and then they will be able to say if the degree meets their criteria. So the reason that universities, for example, are listed on the maybe list is because the GMC assessed the qualifications of people from those universities who graduated already, and then they determined that those universities are those universities may not meet the criteria of acceptance set by the GMC. For example, not having enough clinical hours, not having enough contact hours. So rest assured, though, because you're on this webinar, you're on the right path. You've chosen to come to experts in this field, people that have been doing this for many years, people that come from a medical or dental background who know what they're talking about. So Medlink Students, our group of doctors and dentists, vet every single university that we will advise you to go to, and we'll give you honest and transparent and accurate advice. So you can make sure that you're going to a safe, recognized university with as little risk as possible to avoid any such problems with the GMC or when going back home, because we want you to go back home. We want you to be able to come back home, practice as a doctor, because this is why we started this organization. We want to see you succeed because your success is our success. And you can ask the team as well when you speak to them, when you call them, when you inquire on the website, they call you back. You can ask them. We love to see when our students receive the registration with the GMC. It's our favorite part of the job. One of our students from Poland was saying how Edmund doesn't sleep. Our student from Sofia was saying how Tom's always available answering them, because we're so passionate about giving to you as much as we can. We want to give you all the information. We want to make sure that you're fully informed and that you're making the right decision for you. So you can go study medicine, do what's important, and then come back home and practice as a doctor successfully in the medical council that regulates the doctors in your country. So if you'd like to learn more about this, I will also post a link in the chat to the GMC website and to a blog article as well about the maybe list. All right. Thank you, Tom. Back to you then.
Thank you, Osman, for the very thorough explanation there, going over why you've got to be extra careful when you're looking to apply abroad. But we are going to help you, and we're going to go over some of the key points that we cover to help you throughout this journey of achieving your dreams. So let's start off from the beginning. To start with, it's all about having a free consultation. So you'll be able to speak to an advisor just like myself or my colleagues, Edmund, Dana. We have plenty of other advisors as well who are on hand most of the hours of the day, quite a few hours of the night, to take your calls and to help you go through everything, just to make sure that you can make the best decision for yourself. As you've seen from our website, we've got so many universities now. There are so many opportunities available to you. We're going to look into your preferences, what you like, what sort of entrance requirements you're looking for, what schools you qualify for, what sort of budget, absolutely every factor. This is something that we do day in, day out on a daily basis to help students just like you. Now, that's just step one. Once we've found that school, that's normally when the nerves start kicking in a little bit. I'm sure the students attending will agree. You know you've made that decision and you need a team behind you to help you to go through that system and that process. So that's when we've got the application management. Now, these are experts in their fields. They've helped hundreds and hundreds of students in specific countries. So whichever team you go to, they're working within that country. They know the paperwork. They know all the boring bits that need to be sorted out and achieved. So they get on with all of that on your behalf. Now, they give you the materials so you can focus on the tests or the interviews, whatever it may be. We're giving you everything you need to put your success rate as high as it can possibly be. Now, we've got there now. You've been accepted. You've got into the medical school. We've helped you to sort your visa application out, get everything sorted, and boots are on the ground. Now, you're greeted by our team of on-the-ground support staff. They're going to help you with airport pickups. They're going to help you to find accommodation. Maybe you want to live the student dorm lifestyle. Maybe you want private accommodation. Maybe you're going over with friends and you want some support in finding an apartment for you and your friends. We can help you with that. We've got the team there. They know the lay of the land. They live there on the ground. They can help you and support you. And they're going to be there throughout the course as well. So if you ever need anyone, if you ever get stuck with anything, although a lot of these universities have fantastic support staff by themselves, we want to give that little bit more. We want to make sure that you're not just going to get into medical school successfully. We want you to exit medical school successfully and become that doctor that you are meant to be. So then right at the end, it's about helping you to return back. We've got an international network now of doctors and dentists that will give you guidance and help you with the paperwork to registering and helping you get back into your country or another country if you want to go somewhere else. To register as a doctor or a dentist. That's a very brief overview that I've put there. I know that the webinar has been going on for quite some time now, and thank you all for staying with us. We've got a little bit more that we want to go over. Now, the next thing is to highlight the main concern when we were going over the poll before. Now, your main concern was, will my degree be recognized when I come back to my country? So I'm going to pass this one over to my colleague, Edmund. He's going to go over a few of the details and exactly how it works to get back, get your recognition, and why these European qualifications will allow you to do what you want to do when you come back to register in your country. Thank you, Edmund.
No, thank you, Tom. I know this was one of the highest kind of concerns for lots of students. Will your degree be recognized when you come back? You know, UK students that we deal with, we get asked this question every single day. A lot of students want to know, is my degree going to be accredited? And this is the most commonly question that's asked every day. And this is a very valid question to ask. The answer is yes. The degrees will be recognized when you come back to your home countries. So every country you go to has requirements of what they need. So let's take the UK, for example. The General Medical Council, they have a criteria. They have a criteria of acceptance. And this is what your degree must meet in order for them to recognize it. So if you study within the European Union, you are able to come back and then you sit a small English test, you register with the medical council, and then normally you can start working. Now, normally if you study outside the European Union, you come back, there is a small test that you do, and then your license will be issued for you to start working. Now, from 2024, the General Medical Council are making some changes to how degrees are recognized, meaning that all international graduates that come back to the UK are required to sit a licensing test called MLA, which stands for Medical Licensing Assessment. This is a two-part test which allows you to demonstrate your skills and your knowledge as a doctor, to come back and then work as a doctor, which means that all the students in the UK who study medicine will be required to sit this test. the whole purpose of this is to create to make sure that every single student or graduate has the same knowledge and set a common threshold for safe practice. So this is why it's being introduced. In the US, you have the USMLE, medical licensing exam. Australia have their own. And we look at all of these to make sure that the universities that you go to will meet these criteria and for you to come back. And then all the universities, as you see, are listed in the World Directory of Medical Schools to ensure that the universities, when they're being assessed by the Medical Council, they will check to make sure that you can come back. So we guide you with this process. And then when you come back to the UK, we can ensure that you can have a smooth registration and you can transition back in the UK. Over to you, Tom.
Fantastic. Thank you, Edmund. As we said, a lot of students were concerned about this. So just to reiterate, the reason Edmund knows all of this is not because he's just looked it up on Google or revised it last night. We live and breathe this. Our team of doctors as well, they are the ones in the background that are assessing these universities. And to be honest with you, it's not the toughest job for them because these European medical schools are fantastic. There are so many of them that meet all of the requirements for places like the UK and the USA. It really is a good opportunity. It's not a case of there's just a few that are good enough to meet those requirements and allow you to achieve your dream. As you can see on our website, I think we've got around 70 different medical schools, all offering English taught courses now. And all of these schools are meeting those requirements that you need to register as a doctor. So there is definitely a lot more good than there is bad when it comes to medical education in Europe, but you have still got to watch out for the bad ones. So I think we're now going on to a little bit of Q&A. So we're going to go through, have a look at the questions. If anyone wants to answer anything, just interrupt me and we can go over with everything there. I think it was my colleague Dana who's got a question she's found on the Q&A that she'd like to explain. Dana, take it away.
All right, thanks, Tom. So one of the questions that students have been asking, many students have asked, is there a specific exam we have to do for applying to Europe? Now, the answer here is that there's no specific test that has to be done. Many students ask me, is there a necessity for me to do the SAT exam, the SAT, or the MCAT exam, those national exams? Well, in Europe, you can apply and you just take the internal exam of the university. So the university sets its own entrance exam. Some universities have entrance exams, some universities have interviews. And for the universities that have the entrance exam, it's going to be related to biology and chemistry to test your basic knowledge on the science subjects. And as we mentioned before in this webinar, that we're going to be helping you prepare for these exams. Other universities have interviews, also to test your knowledge, to ask you a little bit about yourself, to talk about your passion for medicine. We also help you prepare for these interviews so you can perform at the best. And some universities don't have an entrance exam. Some universities will require a language proficiency test, which would be a walk in the park for everyone here because we all speak English. For example, the IELTS exam, or an interview for the university just to test your English proficiency during the interview. So basically that's the question for the exams. You don't have to do any big or national exam like the IMAT or MCAT or SATs. It's just an exam for the university.
Fantastic, Dana. Thank you very much for that. I think we've got another question here regarding a state exam in Ukraine. This is for some of the students in Ukraine that are wanting to transfer. As we mentioned before, we've been helping a lot of the Ukraine students with transferring. It's, terrible circumstances that they've been under that no medical student should ever have to go through. Medical school is tough enough as it is, so we'll do everything that we can to help you. Osman, I think you were going to answer this question in regards to the CROC test. Can you give us a bit of clarity on that, please?
So the CROC exam is a simple state exam that is done at some medical schools. This is specific for one country, and that's Ukraine. The majority of countries and universities do not require state exams, where an external institution comes and tests the students of the university on their knowledge. So for students who are not studying in Ukraine, they don't have to do a CROC exam or a state exam the majority of the time. Now, usually when you graduate, there is something called a state exam. However, this is done at other countries like Bulgaria, Romania. This is done by the university itself, by the teachers that have taught you the subject themselves. So a lot of students worry a lot about exams, but this is medical school. You just learn how to do exams. You have 6 years. You will learn and you will master how to do exams. So when you come back to the UK or whatever country you come from, if you do the USMLE, you do the UK MLA, or whichever country you come from, the exam is there to check that you have genuine knowledge. As long as you passed your degree and you are actually a doctor, then you are going to have that knowledge. Also, another thing that these exams do is they test your ability in the local language. For example, the UK MLA is in English. If you come from Georgia and you speak Georgian, they want to test your English language skills in a clinical setting. So what they'll do is they'll ask you some medical questions in English. This is what the registration exams are. In Germany, it's in German. There's nothing to worry about or stress too much about. If you're going to become a doctor, you need to get comfortable with exams. I hate exams, but I just got used to it. This is normal, and every medical student will tell you the same. You'll just get used to it. You'll just get on. As long as you have the knowledge, you'll be fine. Any other questions?
Thank you. Yes, so another question that we've been having is, would a UK degree have the same recognition as a European degree? Edmund, I think as you've been the doctor of recognition this evening, you'd be quite a good one to answer that.
So they want to know whether a UK degree would have the same recognition as ones in Europe.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, great question. So the UK degrees is an MBBS. MBBS is a Bachelor of Medicine and Surgery, which means that after graduating, you'll be able to work as a Foundation Year 1 doctor. Going to another country would mean that you would register in that country and try to recognize the degree over there. So countries like Australia would recognize the UK, vice versa. Now, the universities that are abroad have MD degrees. These are master's equivalence degrees, which allow you to come back to the UK and have a recognition to actually allow you to go into Foundation Year 2, which allows you to work as a senior doctor. So a lot of the students that come back very confident in themselves because the final year of the course, being MD, allows you to work as a Foundation Year 1 doctor. So you gain valuable clinical experience. So to answer the question, yes, the UK ones have similar recognitions just as the ones in Europe. The benefit of going to the ones in Europe is you come back as an FY2 doctor. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Edmund. That was a fantastic answer, giving us all some clarity on that. So another question that we've been getting quite a lot is, when is the deadline? When do I apply to this? So I'm going to go over that in a bit of detail, but it really depends on what country it is that you're looking at, and what university in particular. Now, they all have varying different deadlines. They're also very limited on spaces, especially with the increased amount of applications that we've seen this year. It is getting quite close with a lot of them. Now, bear in mind as well, from when we spoke about the admissions and all of the document processes that need to be completed, although we have got a superstar team that work on that for you, they do need time. They need enough time to process your documents, to get them over to the country, legalize, translate, etc. So the sooner you can start an application, especially if you're looking at this intake, if you're looking to go this September, this October sort of time, the sooner the better now. The sooner you can apply, the sooner we can get everything sorted, give you all of the materials you need to prepare, and the better your chances will be of success. A lot of deadlines are coming up within the next month, 2 months. So yeah, the sooner the better regarding the applications. Right, are there any other questions that anyone has seen? I'm just going to mute myself.
Sorry, let me just add to that. a lot of students wait for the last minute. And actually, again, another mistake I made when I applied back in my day is that I waited until the last week simply because I was just terrified of going abroad. I was like, this is my last option. I'm going to try everything I can to do whatever I can to get out of my comfort zone. So I left it until the last minute, and then I went to Europe, and within 1 week, I thought that I could apply, just like you could apply for any university in the UK or Australia or America, that you just submit an application. What I found was that it was actually much more complicated than that. And it does take a couple of weeks to process your documents, because you have to do a lot more than what you would do in the UK. For example, hop on the university website, send an application, click submit, and you're done. This is not how it works in Europe. In Europe, you have to prepare your documents. You have to legalize your documents, put an apostille on your documents, translate them into the local language, then send your documents to the Ministry of Education, get the approval from the university first that they accept you, then get the approval from the Ministry of Education that they accept your offer that the university offered you. Then again, this is a tedious process. It takes a long time. This is where we come in. This is where we streamline this process, so you don't have to lift a finger. You just apply, contact us, we'll advise you, we'll inform you, we'll make sure you're making the right decision for you. And then we'll start an application for you. We'll do all this legwork for you, so you don't have to lift a finger. It's much more convenient that way. You don't have to fly to the country and then figure out how the system works or how to apply and go through the bureaucracies and the loopholes that need to be done. We have done it for many, many students before you. So we can do it for you and make it very streamlined and straightforward. That way, you just receive your acceptance, maybe sit an entrance exam, whether that be online or in person. If you do it in person, then we'll welcome you to the university. We'll greet you at the airport. We'll take you to our office. We'll introduce you to our team. We'll show you the university, the city. It's a great opportunity to see where you're going to study. If you're doing an interview, maybe it's on Skype or Zoom, we'll support you with it. We'll show you what the university likes to hear. We'll tell you all this information so you can have an advantage. And that way you get your acceptance letter without having to do all of this extra legwork that takes weeks and sometimes even months, especially if you leave it last minute, because Tom was talking about the deadline. I would encourage you not to wait for the deadline, because there's so much to do. Once you sign up, we need also from you some documents, so we will need to process them. Don't wait until the last minute, because a lot of students do that, and then they contact us in August, and there is a huge queue. We try to help everyone who comes to us. Every single person who comes to us, we try to facilitate and find opportunities for you. But it's really important that you do your part and apply early, because applying last minute also adds a lot of risks to your application, like some documents not being done on time, some issues, some problems, a lot of students applying, more competitiveness for the seat. So my advice to you is to apply as early as you can. You know that you want to study medicine. Don't put it off. There is a great, amazing opportunity in Europe. You've seen there are so many students just like you from everywhere, from every corner of the planet, that are taking advantage of this opportunity. You are just as good as them. You deserve this. You've worked hard for this. You're passionate about medicine. The opportunity is there. Take advantage of it. That's my best advice for you. Do we have any other questions? I know we've had so many questions in the Q&A. We could not get to all of them, unfortunately. So what I would advise is that you contact us through our website, and we will try to answer all your questions. We'll give you half an hour, 1 hour of our time. We'll provide you with more information, more insight, so you can feel more confident about the opportunities abroad. Are there any other burning questions that we should answer, Tom?
Thank you, Osman. I think we've gone over a few of the main ones there. Our team have been really helpful. I can see on the chat here, they've answered so many questions while we've been sitting here listening to all these incredible stories from students. And I just want to thank you all for joining this evening and just experiencing it. I hope that something has resonated with you. That's the same thing that happened. And that's the reason why a lot of our students actually come and join on these webinars. It's because it's these webinars that help them to make this decision. It helped them to overcome these concerns, these worries that they had, and it helps them to move forward and actually take the next step to achieving their dreams. So again, I just want to thank you all for coming. It's been a great experience. It's always my favorite part of the month, hearing from all of my students that have achieved so much and gotten so far in achieving their dreams and their hopes of becoming doctors and dentists. Now, you can see there's a couple of boxes here that you can scan for an ebook, also for an attendance certificate. The whole webinar will be posted on YouTube within the next few days. And obviously, you've got all the contact numbers there. Now, we're all available almost all hours of the day into the evening, weekends. If you want to get in touch with us, you can book an appointment. It doesn't cost you anything to book an appointment. Our advice is completely free of charge, and we are just here to help you. So write down all your questions, get everything ready. We're happy to go through all of it with you, and we'll speak to you all very soon. Thank you for coming, and we'll hopefully see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Talk to you all soon. Bye.
Bye. Thanks all for coming. Have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.